Hello again. This is the second tutorial video covering how to make the mold, which is about as important as making the ring itself, as it's the part that will determine just how your ring or jewelry item will come out. Be sure to wear a respirator when working with some of these parts, as the clay powders can cause atelectasis after breathing it for several years. The mold is broken into two, an inner and outer mold layer. The inner mold is the part that will preserve the ring after the wax is burned out, and as such needs to be as fine as possible. I use china clay and sand to do this. The china clay adds strength, is high in alumina oxide, making it more heat resistant than most clays, and is a refined product, so it is very fine grain while containing no impurities, unlike straight fire clay. The sand acts as grog, which is necessary because although the clay gives strength to the mold, it is also soluble in water, so when the mold dries out, it will shrink, creating cracks. The grog component, which in this case is sand, prevents that shrinkage. Unfortunately, the sand is also the least fine-grained component in the mold, and will take away detail in the ring, so I try to use as little sand as possible. I find 30% sand is the lowest I can get without significant cracks. I'm working on finding a finer grog, but at the moment I'm not sure what I could use, but I'm working on that. Make slightly more than you think you need. 50 ml is usually enough for me. As you first add water to the inner mold mixture, rub some into the fine detail of the ring to make sure it's fully filled and the mold has no air bubbles, at least not on the fine detail. Once the pattern dries, mix the inner mold material into a slurry and dip the ring into it, then knock off the excess. Let it dry and do it again until the material is as thick as you want it, in this case 2 mm. That's the inner mold done. The outer mold is made with 45% sand, 40% fire clay, because the pottery place messed up my order and I have heaps of it now, and 15% china clay, just to be sure the outer mold will handle the heat. Now add water until the material is sticky, but not enough to make it a slurry. After mixing this up, get some dried grass and grind it up as much as you can by hand, then add it to the mix. I don't really have a quantity, I just add it till every time I scoop some up it has several pieces of grass in it. Now add this mixture to the outside of the now dry inner mold. Since this layer isn't for fine detail, you can add this material much faster and don't need to allow it to fully dry as you go. Once this part is completed and dried, you have the mold. Next tutorial will be on the meltout, combining the mold and the crucible, and a little about the metal I use and fluxing. As with always, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the comments, and please subscribe for more videos.